He failed for the first time at 19, and everyone told him it was normal. By the time he failed for the 10th time, people started laughing. But when he reached his 100th failure, even his closest friends quietly stopped believing in him. What nobody saw was the decision forming in his mind during that darkest moment. A decision so small it looked meaningless, yet powerful enough to change the entire direction of his life. His name was Daniel, an ordinary guy from a small town who carried an extraordinary dream. He wanted to build something of his own, a business that could give his family a better future. Every morning he woke up before sunrise, filled with energy and hope. Every night he went to bed exhausted, carrying the weight of another rejection. Investors said no. Customers said no. Even strangers who heard his idea smiled politely and walked away. Failure became a routine, like brushing his teeth or drinking coffee. If you've ever chased a dream and felt the sting of rejection, you'll understand this feeling. And if stories like this speak to you, take a second to subscribe to DeepLight Tales, because every week we share stories that remind you what's possible when you refuse to quit. After his 50th failure, Daniel started questioning himself. Maybe the dream was too big. Maybe he wasn't smart enough. He watched others succeed while he stood still, trapped in a cycle of effort and disappointment. His savings were running out, his confidence was fading, and the voices around him grew louder. Be realistic, they said. Get a stable job. Each word felt like a tiny crack in his determination. But failure has a strange way of teaching lessons success never can. One cold evening, after another deal collapsed, Daniel sat alone in his car staring at the steering wheel. For the first time, he allowed himself to imagine giving up. The thought was terrifying, yet oddly peaceful. No more stress. No more rejection. Just a simple, safe life. And that's when it hit him. The real reason he was failing wasn't a lack of talent or opportunity. It was fear disguised as effort. He was trying many things, but never committing fully to one path. In that quiet moment, he made a decision that seemed almost invisible from the outside. He chose to focus on mastering a single skill instead of chasing dozens of shortcuts. No more scattered energy. No more desperate attempts. Just one clear direction and relentless practice. The next morning, he rewrote his entire routine. He woke up earlier, studied harder, and treated every small improvement like a victory. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. The progress was painfully slow. There were still failures, still doubts, still nights when he questioned everything. But something inside him had shifted. Each setback no longer felt like proof of inadequacy. It felt like feedback. He began to see patterns in his mistakes, adjusting his approach with patience and precision. People around him didn't notice the change at first. To them, he was still the guy who kept failing. But internally, he was becoming someone new, someone disciplined, focused, and quietly unstoppable. Then, almost a year after that night in his car, an opportunity appeared. It wasn't dramatic or flashy. It was a small project, the kind he might have ignored in the past. This time, he approached it differently. He applied everything he had learned, every refined skill, every hard-earned lesson. The result wasn't just success. It was proof. Proof that his decision to focus had transformed him. That single win opened doors to bigger opportunities, partnerships, and growth he once thought impossible. Looking back, Daniel realized something profound. His 100 failures were not wasted time. They were the training ground that prepared him for the moment he finally got it right. The decision to commit, truly commit, was the turning point. It didn't erase his past mistakes, but it gave them meaning. Most people never reach their breakthrough because they quit just before their decision point. They see failure as a wall instead of a doorway. But every setback carries information, and every attempt shapes you into a stronger version of yourself. The question isn't whether you'll fail. You will. The question is whether you'll use those failures to refine your path or let them define your limits. If you're standing in the middle of your own series of failures right now, remember Daniel in that silent car, choosing focus over fear. Sometimes the decision that changes everything isn't loud or dramatic. It's quiet, personal, and invisible to everyone except you. But once you make it, your entire trajectory begins to shift. I'm curious, what is one failure in your life that secretly taught you an important lesson? Share it in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else who's struggling today. And if this story resonated with you, stay with DeepLight Tales for more journeys that explore resilience, growth, and the hidden power inside ordinary moments. Because the next decision you make, no matter how small it seems, could be the one that changes everything.